watching the 4-9 Show.
What's up? Welcome back to another episode of the 4-9 Show. Man, it's your boy Cods, man, and I'm here to give you a real quick video just to quickly tell you about some of our injuries with the San Francisco 49ers. I'm sure everybody has heard by now what's going on with Nick Bosa, what happened with Jimmie Ward yesterday. Man, I'm telling you, it's just, we can't win for losing, it just seems like. Now, I know a lot of people who are quick to call other fans negative or not faithful, which I kind of get sick of hearing that word. But look, man, sometimes it just is what it is. Realistically, Jimmie Ward stays injured. Realistically, Nick Bosa has had some injuries before he even got to the NFL level. Now, pretty much on my last video, I said that I thought Nick Bosa would not be practicing again until training camp. And he won't. Even though they say it's just a grade 1 hamstring strain, they're going to have him out until training camp. Okay, that's fine. Let's move on. Jimmie Ward yesterday fractures his collarbone. Him being out for 8 to 12 weeks. Those 12 weeks, if it goes the full 12 weeks, it takes him out of action all the way up until, I believe, the end of training camp. So he would pretty much, they say he should be back in time for training camp, but that's only if it's 8 weeks. He will be back in time for it. If it's 12 weeks, he actually is going to miss a majority of training camp, because 3 months from now, which is 12 weeks, that will pretty much be the end of August. And we know then coaches have already saw what they needed to see from these players. They're just a week or a couple days before getting ready to chop it down from the 90-man roster down to the 53. So, with all that being said, Jimmie Ward is out again for another 12 weeks. And it's like, man, this is the reason why, and I don't understand why a lot of 49er fans like to pick fights and argue with their Twitter fingers and whatnot on social media when certain fans like myself keep it real about certain players. Okay? I mean, you can't get upset when people say Solomon Thomas is a bust, even though I'm giving him another chance because he hadn't been used properly. But it's understandable why people will say that. You can't get mad and upset when people say Jimmie Ward is a bust or he's just injury prone. In my opinion, not only is he injury prone, he's not that good when he's on the field anyway. I really thought we were going to get Earl Thomas. When that didn't happen, I really thought that we were going to draft a safety. And when that didn't happen, I really thought that maybe we were going to just bring in whoever's left from free agency. As far as, what's the guy's name from the Chargers? He's still out there, I believe. You got Jonathan Cyprien or whatever from the Jaguars and Titans. That safety, he's still out there. I can't think of the guy's name from the Chargers, but he's always available every year. Trey Boston. And now Eric Berry, of course, is still available after the Chiefs let him go. And, I'm just like, okay, well, maybe if they're not going to get any of these, lower end safeties, they didn't get Earl Thomas. They didn't draft the guy from Alabama, Deontay Thompson. They didn't draft Juan Thornhill. They didn't draft, who was the other guy from Maryland? I can't think of his name either right now. No, not DJ. The safety from Maryland, though. There were quite a few safeties that were out there. We ignored that position. And I can't understand. It baffles me why we ignored that position completely. Because it was a bigger need than cornerback, to be honest with you, just because of the lack of depth at safety compared to the depth that we have at corner. Not that we got a lot of depth at corner, but, Verrett did come in. Him and Witherspoon were battle. You got Tavarius Moore. You got something there. And then you did draft one in the 7th round. But we ignored the safeties in the draft completely. And I didn't understand that. And here we go. Just 1 month removed from the draft, our safety goes down. The one who they say is going to start. I don't understand it, man. Jimmie Ward, I'm going to try not to be on this topic too long, but Jimmie Ward last year was not good enough to be the starting safety. I mean, I believe Jimmie Ward was healthy when the season started, and they automatically gave it to Adrian Colbert because of the way he finished 2017. And it looked like he deserved it. But there was no competition. Now, this offseason, you want to give it back to Jimmie Ward because Adrian Colbert got hurt, and he didn't look so good during his time on the field. Jimmie Ward has been free safety, nickel corner, outside corner, back to it again in rotation. I mean, look, my thing is this with certain players. I don't care about versatility that much unless you are good at one thing. Really good. So I don't want to hear that he can play outside corner, nickel corner, in the slot, and safety. I don't want to hear that he can do all these things pretty good, but he can't do either one of them great. I don't understand why people think that that's cool. I don't understand why coaches believe that that's the way it's supposed to go down. No, it is not. I'm not cool with it. How about just forget all those other positions, just pick one. Whether you're going to be a free safety, you're going to be a nickel corner, or you're going to be outside corner. Whichever one that you're best at, pick it, study it, get in the film room, get on the practice field, and just perfect your craft. Get better at that. You shouldn't be watching any film on anything or anybody else but legendary Hall of Fame free safeties, in my opinion, because he was a free safety in college. And his film wasn't all that bad. But in college, he was undersized, and he got hurt then too. I can remember Mel Kiper saying that as we picked him his rookie year. What was that, the 2014 draft? I can remember him saying, he's a little undersized, he's a little this, he had some injuries, I'm a little concerned about it. But he was phenomenal when he was on the field. Well, he was phenomenal, but damn, it wasn't like he was playing for LSU or Georgia or Alabama. It wasn't, I don't even think that was a Division I school. I'm not sure. All I know is the competition was pretty lame, and he had injury problems there. Now, that's Trent Baalke. That's Trent Baalke's doing. He's not with us anymore. I get it. I'm not bashing Lynch and Shanahan for him being, for what has happened with Jimmie Ward in the past. But my problem with Shanahan and Lynch is, how do you not see what we see when we're watching the games? We see a player who is not all that good at any of those positions. But you love him just because he can play all three of those positions? So what? If he's not good at any one of them, then what's the purpose of having him? I didn't like us bringing him back for another year. I don't care how small the deal was. I didn't like it. I thought it should have been somebody else. We passed on Earl Thomas. We passed on Honey Badger. We passed on a lot of safeties. There was some safeties out there, and we passed on them all. So I thought that maybe if we did that, you know what? I guess the 49ers' plan is to move Richard Sherman as safety in 2020, because he said that he would like to extend his career another 3 to 4 years, if possible, if they would allow him to do so. I thought that was a great idea if he can show us that he has the range, which I'm not sure, but he definitely doesn't have the speed anymore to continue playing corner too long against the top receivers in the game. So I'm just wondering, man, look, can he play safety? Maybe they think he can, and maybe that's the plan. So they're just going to bring Ward back for a year, let him and Colbert just battle it out. When one gets hurt, the other one will come in, and they'll just see how they works till the end of the year. You also got Exum they brought back. Okay, I get it. That's fine. But the pass rush is going to have to really be good and be better in order for that backside to not look so bad. And I think they're banking on it. I really do. I believe that they're banking on that. And that's fine. But, man, my whole thing is, even if it is, a good front seven in the pass rush, and if it makes the back end look good, are you going to extend Jimmie Ward when we know he's really not worthy of it? So I'm going to go ahead and say what nobody else wants to come out and say probably publicly, but I'm going to say it. I'm not upset that Jimmie Ward got hurt. To me, it's more of a I told you so. To some of the other 49er fans that I talk with all the time, I've got one friend of mine in particular who is pretty big on Jimmie Ward. He just understands that he just stays hurt, but he thinks that if he can stay healthy, he can really ball out. Okay, fine. Me and him agree to disagree on that. I'm going to come out and just say I'm actually kind of glad that he hurt his shoulder, because I need Shanahan and Lynch to understand that no matter how great they think he is, and they do think he's great, So I don't understand why. I need them to realize, hey, you know what? Look here. We tried. This is not working. We got to move on. We're picking somebody else. We got to bring somebody else in. We're going to have to sign Eric Berry. It's a low, risk, high reward. If he does stay healthy, if he doesn't, fine, we're going to give him the minimum. But at least this is somebody from outside coming within instead of keeping somebody that we know has had a history of getting injured every freaking year with us. I mean, I would do something. I would call on somebody. This is why I don't understand why they brought him back. But I'm kind of glad that he got hurt. It's fractured. I'm not going to lie to you. I know it doesn't sound good for me to say it. I know I sound like an asshole right now to say them anymore in a Niner uniform. Well, that's what I want. I'm sick of seeing Jimmie Ward in a 49er uniform. I'm tired of people thinking that he's good. I'm tired of hearing about his potential and what he can be. If you can't stay on the field, if you're not durable enough, how will we ever know? So I'm sick of it. Jimmie Ward, kick rocks. It's time to go. Deuces. I mean, so the only thing I know right now is he's out 8 to 12 weeks, meaning that he's going to be back in time for summer training camp or right at the end of training camp just to get hurt again and still miss week 1 and the rest of the season. Or he'll play 2 or 3 games and by week 4, he's hurt again. That collarbone, he hurt it again. I mean, it's been a collarbone before, I believe, with Jimmie Ward. He's broken a forearm. He's had several injuries, though. We know that. And it's just like, man, enough is enough. Enough is enough. It's time to move on from Jimmie Ward. Now, the 49ers bank on Jimmie Ward to come back in the middle of training camp or toward the end of training camp, whether it's 8 weeks or 12 weeks, and actually jump back healthy, be 100% ready to go for week 1, and have a good 16-week season and not get hurt again. Are they really banking on that? Jimmie Ward gets hurt in OTAs. OTAs. This is minor work. This is light work. And this dummy diving for a ball. What are you diving for the football for in OTAs? Is it that serious? And with that being said, how can he not dive for a football, and not fracture his damn collarbone? I mean, honestly, this dude will break a rib when he sneezes. He's made of glass, obviously. He just cannot stay healthy. I don't know if he didn't drink any milk when he was growing up. What's up with his bones, man? I don't know, but I'm sick of him. And I'm not upset that he's hurt again, guys. I am actually kind of whatever it takes to get rid of him. I mean, I wish him well. I hate that he's hurt, but damn. Look, if that's what it takes for Shanahan and Lynch to say, this just is not going to work, I give up. We tried. Yeah, you did try. Now move on. Now, enough about Jimmie Ward, though. Excuse me. Man, I'm still trying to get over this. It's not good to have a little minor cold in the summertime. It's almost summertime. But the injuries that we got going on, man, it's not good because there's a lot of more injuries. We got Matt Breida that's hurt. We've got Jalen Hurd, who had a little injury. Raheem Mostert had a setback with his injury. You know, he broke his arm last year, and that was terrible. That was terrible to watch. I believe that was the Monday night game against the New York Giants. I hated to see that. That was not good. He was balling at the time, too. So I really hated that for him. But he's had a minor setback as well. Now, I know we're still about 4 months away from the season actually kicking off. Well, a little less than 4 months. But still. And we're about 2 months from training camp starting. But, man, these guys are rehabbing instead of being able to get their bodies ready and mentally ready with watching film and whatnot. They didn't make it through the OTAs, healthy. I mean, when training camp comes, we're pretty much like this as fans, crossing our fingers that nobody gets hurt. And they can't even get out of the OTAs without getting hurt. Bosa down. Ward down for a while. Matt Breida, torn pec. I gotta look and see if we've got the timetable on Breida. Breida's down as well. Jalen Hurd has got his knee scoped. our center is not bad. This is ridiculous, man. I mean, it really is. Jalen Hurd, Raheem Mostert had a setback with his broken forearm. And, but they say he should be ready and healthy for training camp. He had a little setback with the surgery, Shanahan said. I'm not really sure what that was, just in how the bones grow back together. Okay, so that's what we know. That's what we know about Raheem Mostert. And Jalen Hurd, he hadn't practiced due to his recovery from a knee injury that I wasn't even aware about. Shanahan said the team wants to make sure that he gets a good couple of more weeks of conditioning before putting him through team drills. He didn't start getting cleared to run until a few weeks before the draft. Didn't know that either. To only have him for a week, we want to make sure we get a little bit more to get him in football shape. So, I don't even know exactly what that knee injury was. Just that it was a knee injury. He's not ready just yet. They're just giving him some more time. Maybe he'll be ready by training camp. Now we also got, well, I told you about Raheem Mostert already. Had a setback with a broken forearm. He should be good to go, though. Now, Fred Warner. He also will not participate in the 49ers offseason program. He didn't participate in anything because he underwent a cleanup procedure on his knee, but should be ready for training camp. Rookie Dream Greenlaw received significant reps in Warner's place. Fred had some residual stuff on his knee that was bothering him when he got back. So we waited a week to see if it would go away. Shanahan said, and it was still lingering, so we just cleaned it up. Okay, so rookie Dream Greenlaw, the linebacker that we drafted in this past draft out of Arkansas, he got some work and some reps in for Fred Warner because Fred Warner went ahead and got his knee cleaned up. Okay, Garrett Selleck is in a concussion protocol and not cleared until at least training camp. What kind of concussion is that? He's not going to be cleared until training camp. Man, the injury occurred during last season's Week 16 matchup against the Chicago Bears. He is also dealing with a back injury. So Garrett Selleck is dealing with a back injury and a concussion from Week 16. And we are in, it's almost Memorial Day. It's time for Garrett Selleck to go. And that's the reason why we drafted the tight end from Stanford. And that's the reason why we also brought in the guy from the Atlanta Falcons. He was also in Detroit last year. Tofolio? I have to look that up too. I can't really recall his name. I didn't know I was going to read about Garrett Selleck though. I'm sorry. I didn't know that. But I see why we've been bringing in tight ends. So those are some more guys. And Matt Breida. He didn't participate in the 49ers off-season program. Shanahan said that he suffered a slightly torn pec muscle from workout in the weight room. This is just working out in the weight room. He was going too hard, and he tore his pec. Breida, the head coach expects Breida to be healthy by training camp. It's frustrating for Breida because he can do just about everything. That is true. Shanahan said we've just got to avoid contact for him, so he can't be out there running with other people on the field. That means he can't do anything until training camp. Shanahan noted that Breida did not and will not require surgery. So Breida should be back too. It seems like everybody's going to be back in training camp. At what percentage of health will they be in, though? That's the thing. Are they coming back 100%? Are they going to be 80%? You know, that's what we don't know. So those are pretty much the injuries as of right now. You've got Matt Breida with the torn pec. Raheem Mostert still with the broken arm. Another thing, the center, Weston Richburg, his knee and quad, he had a problem with that knee all last season. I know a lot of people has been kind of bashing him about how his season was kind of average or a little below average, but he was hurt. And now I don't know if he had any kind of procedure or not. I think he did. So he's still coming back from that. Maybe he'll be ready by training camp as well. But they didn't bring in any offensive linemen, really. Well, not interior. So, Richburg with his knee and quad. I'm going to give you a list of the players who are rehabbing and who we hope to have back, along with the ones who just got hurt again. So we know Garoppolo's coming back off an ACL. We know McKinnon is coming back off an ACL. Breeder's got the partially torn pec. Mostert broken arm. Richburg, knee and quad. Selleck with his back. Quan Alexander coming back off an ACL. Fred Warner, knee scope. Jimmie Ward, broken collarbone. Jason Verrett, cornerback, Achilles. Nick Bosa, hamstring. Man, this is a lot of people on the list. So this is so many ifs. Remember my last video, I was talking about the ifs. And I also said, though, if was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. We could do some good things this year, but there's too many ifs on how, we're going to do because we don't know about these guys. Now, injuries happen in the NFL. That's the name of the game. But they happen to the San Francisco 49ers a little bit too much. When you say so, I would. It happens a little bit too much. Garoppolo, will he be back 100%? I hope. He's going to be wearing a knee brace. I'm pretty sure he's going to be wearing a knee brace. McKinnon, I don't think he's going to, get as many reps. I don't think he's going to earn as many reps because of Tevin Coleman being there and him coming off that ACL. I still won't be surprised if we can find a way to get rid of him or cut him. Breeder, in my opinion, is the number 2 back behind Tevin Coleman, but man, because, man, he's so little and frail, man. He can do just about everything, but he seems to be one of those guys who just, can't stay healthy. He may be our offensive Jimmie Ward. Hate to say it, because I love me some Breeder. I do. I love me some Matt Breeder. I was the same guy who was telling everybody last season, Le'Veon Bell for what? For what? Pay him all that money for what? This guy can do it all right here. But he's got to stay healthy. And that is Matt Breeder, the cheater. So, Quan Alexander, torn ACL. Will he be back in time? These are a bunch of ifs. Good signings that we're saying, the names are there. It was a pretty decent offseason, but they added so many people. We're talking about depth, but they added people to the depth who also get hurt too, just as much as the guys who we've already had on our roster. Jason Verrett, that boy can ball out, but that's another if. He's coming off of an Achilles. There's a lot of players that come from Achilles, that come back from Achilles, and they're never the same again. They're really never the same again, let's be real. And that goes for any sport. So I don't know. I just don't know if he's going to be that good or not. Ward, Warner, Fred Warner, I think he's going to be fine. I'm not worried about him. He just had his knee scope. That was very cautious. They were just being cautious. Wanted to clean it up so it won't bug him when training camp comes along, and then it turns into something major by the time the season kicks off. So I'm not upset about that one at all. But other than Fred Warner getting his knee scope and Richburg, who cleaned his knee up as well after the season ended because it bothered him all last year, the rest of these guys are all a bunch of ifs. And even Garoppolo, too. We don't know how he's going to be. Because mentally, he could struggle for a while, too, worried about the leg, worried about the knee. So, I don't know. Now, in a perfect world, in a fantasy world for me, he comes back, he balls out, he throws 5,000 passing yards, 40 touchdowns, and about 7 picks. You know what I'm saying? And we win, if he has numbers like that, we win in 11, 12 games. But that's a big if again. All these people are very, very, very key to how successful we're going to be, and they're all coming off of injuries. And some of them, like Jimmie Ward and Nick Bosa, just got injured. Now, I'm not going to get into the Bosa stuff that much longer. They say it's grade 1, fine. But we do know if he doesn't sit out like they're going to let him, he could tweak it, he can mess it up worse than what it is, and it can be more than just a strain. But right now, he's just going to lay low, chill out to training camp. Maybe we'll get to see what's up with him after training camp, and will he be ready for some preseason games. So that's pretty much it with the injuries. And I got one more question. Somebody comment about this if you know. A torn pec Matt Breeder has, he's going to be back. I guess it's slightly torn, I don't know, but it's still a torn pec muscle. He's going to be back for training camp. Malcolm Smith was signed in the 2017 offseason. 2017, yeah. Malcolm Smith, didn't he tear his pectoral muscle? But he was out for the entire year? I'm not understanding that. Or am I wrong? But I thought he tore his pec and he was out for the whole year. But you're telling me Matt Breida, a much smaller and you know, much smaller guy, lighter and everything, he tears his pec and he's going to be back in 2 months? Okay, quick video on what went down with Jimmie Ward because, I mean, come on, man. It's funny. It really is funny. Because when you see it, some of you are like, oh my God, not again, Jimmy. But then some of us are like, I'm not surprised. Like, really? Really? It's no surprise. I wanted another safety. But, you know, I'm not even going to get on my soapbox on any of that. The dude is injury prone, though. And Jaquiski Tartt will be next. He'll get hurt, but it'll probably be once they start playing a few games. These guys are just undersized for their positions, man. That's really all it is to it. Tartt is pretty good inside the box, but he is undersized to play that position. If you drafted my boy from Florida State last year, we wouldn't have this issue. At least not at strong safety we wouldn't. Derwin James was there. We should have got him. He would have made more impact than Mike McGlinchey. But that's another story I'm jumping on. I'm going to jump off. I shouldn't even get to that right now. McGlinchey, you cool, but you're only cool in running blocking. Your pass protection still sucks. It does. Derwin James would have made impact immediately. Jaquiski Tartt, you wouldn't have been on the field. Or if we wanted to try him at free safety, okay, cool, but I think his coverage is not good. Everybody keeps talking about that one-hand interception he got week 1 of 2017. That was a long time ago. What else have you done? I don't like our safeties at all, man. I don't. I thought Cobra was going to be that dude. Man, he's got a lot to prove to me when the season starts. So, look, our safeties, we didn't address it. We should have. If you think Jimmie Ward is coming back in training camp and he's going to be A-okay and he's not going to get hurt again the rest of the season and he's going to have a good year and he's going to get a contract extension, you're smoking something. Whatever it is, send a little bit of some of that my way. This man is not going to cut it. It's not going to work. It's not going to happen. Lynch and Shanahan need to go ahead and call Eric Berry right now and be like, hey, man, what's up? How's your injury? How you feel? What was the last injury he had again? Was it Achilles? I know that's hard to come back from. See, I was just saying that. It was. But he is better than Jimmie Ward on his worst day on an Achilles injury than Jimmie Ward is on his best. Healthy. Eric Berry, call him up. Call him up. Trey Boston, call him up. Somebody, you got to get one of these guys. I don't know how you ignored this through the draft, though. I didn't. And that's why I say, and I'll talk about this in another video, is John Lynch on the hot seat or not? I'll talk about it because I think he should be. Because even though, yes, I know his quarterback was hurt. I know he dealt with a lot of injuries, blah, blah, blah. But you're the one who keep bringing Robert Saleh back. You're the one who keeps bringing players who shouldn't be on the roster anymore back. Jimmie Ward shouldn't have came back. Eric Armstead shouldn't have gave him the 5th-year option. But it is what it is. They're here now. So the only thing I can say is make the best of it. We will do a lot of rotating with the D-line. I'm interested in seeing how it's going to go, but I wouldn't be giving Armstead $9 million this year. No way in hell. When you're only just decent against the run. I wouldn't do it. But anyway, I digress. We got more injuries, and I want to know what you all think. Do you believe that we have brought in the right staff as far as the training staff, the strength and conditioning coaches? I think we fired all those guys and brought in a whole new staff. And these guys are still getting hurt in OTAs. Pulling hamstrings, diving for footballs, turning collarbones and stuff. I mean, people are going too hard in the heavy. Breida went too hard in the weight room and tore a pec. I mean, what are the coaches telling these guys? How are they monitoring everything? Is it them or is it just the players? Do we just got a bunch of injury-prone players, or do we have another training staff who's not that good again? I mean, I heard the LA Chargers, they really need to look into this. The LA Chargers always have a way to get their players back. They tear ACLs and stuff, and they still can come back just like that. Hunter Henry, their tight end, was actually active in the AFC divisional playoff game. I mean, like, wow. They get these guys back quick and they don't get hurt much. We need to be trying to get some guys like that in our front office because, I mean, on our staff because, man, I'm telling you, nobody suffers injuries like us. And I know, you know, that, hey, well, why do you want to get rid of your general manager if you're admitting that the injuries that are concerned, they are concerned, but bring in some players for a change who don't have any injury history. What's up with that? I mean, I don't get it. You bring in certain players out of free agency that's had injury. Quan Alexander, you sign him and give him all that money, and he's got a torn ACL right now. Jason Verrett, you take a chance on him, and he's got a torn Achilles right now. I mean, come on, man. Yeah, it's death, but you're paying Quan, so he's not death. He's going to be the starter when he's ready. But I'm just saying, how about not bringing in people who have had a big injury history when you've already got some players on your roster that has injuries too? So, yeah, John Lynch is to blame for some of this. And if Shanahan is behind some of these players coming in, and yeah, he is too. I just give him a lot of more slack because I know he is an offensive genius. And I know he can get us points and he can get us up and down the field from the 20 to the 20 with practice squad players. But with that being said, we can't get in the red zone. I need you in the red zone. Get the players to get us in the red zone. I got a lot more to talk about, but right now I just wanted to talk about the injuries, and I'm always kind of getting off subject because I have so much going on in Purdue that I would like to say. Jordan Matthews, red zone target. I hope he makes the team because I think he's really going to surprise a lot of people. I know we got Jalen Hurd and he's 6'4". I know we got Deebo Samuel and all of that, but man, I hope Jordan Matthews makes the team. I would rather see Trent Taylor and Kendrick Bourne get cut or tucked to the practice squad or something before I see Jordan Matthews leave. Because I think with Jordan Matthews and Pettis on the outside, with Jalen Hurd in the slot being a big slot, or sometimes you move Jordan Matthews in the middle as the big slot, with Goodwin on the outside, then you put Deebo in the slot, or when you got 4 wide, Deebo and Jalen Hurd can be in the slot with Goodwin and Matthews outside. I don't know. I just think that Matthews has to be somewhere in this picture. For red zone purposes, we really need him bad. We really need him bad. I'm going to show you some film on a game that I watched just recently here where the 49ers played the Broncos, I believe, and you can just see how we need to upgrade in the red zone. The play calling's got to be better, and people have to be able to get open. And the line's got to hold up as well. And the quarterback has to make quick, smart decisions. But I'll get into all that another time. Man, look, Jimmie Ward, though, fractured collarbone, out for 8 to 12 weeks. Bosa, just a grade 1 hamstring, but the injuries are starting to pile up, though. Matt Breida, torn pec. He's going to be sitting down resting until training camp as well. If everybody comes back in training camp and everybody's fine, fine. But you know there's going to be people that's going to be getting days off. They're not going to let them do too much. And this is the reason why these players have so many injuries today, because it's so soft. They're taking away certain drills you can't do in training camps anymore. You can't touch anybody. There's so many days without pads versus the days that there are with pads. Back in the day in the early 90s when I was growing up watching football, man, people would get rocked, concussions, everything. They're getting hit, they're getting blasted. It's like a real football game. But they were playing football. And when the season started, after all that physical contact, they wouldn't get hurt in the season, though. They wouldn't. They'd be good. So I just think they've gotten too soft. I think these players are soft today. And it's ridiculous. That's pretty much it. Jimmie Ward is made of glass. And Nick Bosa, we'll see. We'll see. And when is he waiting to sign a contract? Nick Bosa hasn't signed a contract yet either, y'all. We're still waiting on that. A lot of these number 1 picks, a lot of these first-round picks have signed with their teams. Bosa hadn't done it yet. I was hearing rumors that he could be just like his brother. He may hold out. He's a little arrogant. He's living off of the family name. He's really not as talented. Blah, blah, blah. We're going to see if some of this stuff becomes to be true. We passed on Quentin Williams. We passed on Josh Allen. But we'll see how it goes. I'm out of here, man. I'm out of here. I appreciate the views. Again, comment, like, subscribe. And, just let me know what you think, how we're going to do. If there's any information that you would like to hear in the near future on my next videos or so, man, let me know. Holler at me. But that was pretty much it. 49er injuries still going on. We'll see how everything, what this all leads to. I got a feeling I'm going to be doing another video within the next week or so about us making a signing in the secondary. Hopefully a safety. Maybe Eric Berry. I don't know. I would like to take a chance on him because he's the Hall of Famer. And, if he gets hurt again, fine. We tried. But I would like to take a chance on having a veteran back there in that backfield since we've got these young corners. Him and Richard Sherman could really help these guys out. And they could hold things down just in case the pass rush doesn't really pick up until week 7, week 8. I don't know. I wouldn't say that long, but we'll see how it goes, man. Again, like, subscribe. I'm your boy Kaz, man. We'll be back again for another episode of the 49 Show.
Subscribe and tap the notification bell for more of the 49 Show.